We Have Music asked me how long I've been growing my beard. Another question I get asked frequently is how Deadhead from New Jersey became, ended up in Montana and became a religious Jew. They're both both questions sort of, weave into each other. So I'm gonna answer both. First, to answer how long I've been growing my beard. Really, I've had a goatee. I had a goatee since I was 14, and I was first able to grow some facial hair. It was not a religious expression, and then when I ended up in Montana, if you wanted to be cool, sort of like, a mountain man, you needed to have a beard. So I started growing a beard in Montana to look cool, to be a mountain man. And then when I started to become religiously observant, I already had a beard, so it was just sort of fit. And so the question I get asked most of all is, how did you end up in Montana? From Montana, how did you end up in Israel? How did you become a religious Jew? And while those questions have nothing to do with my channel, Sound Therapy Clinic, I try really hard to keep things open and to be transparent. So for the sake of openness and transparency, I'm gonna answer this question. So I grew up in Teaneck, New Jersey. There wasn't a lot of materialism, and I wanted more. I wanted a lot more. I was a spiritually inclined kid, living in a very materialistic, inclined culture. And for that reason, when I was 14, Brian Murphy from my high school introduced me to the music of the Grateful Dead, and that was something that just seemed less material than I was used to. It had a spiritual. There was a spiritual element to that music, and that spiritual element really spoke to me, captured me, grabbed me. So started going to Grateful Dead shows and experimented with LSD, mushrooms, and then my experience with LSD was that while very profound mystically, and certainly pointed its way towards an ultimate oneness, divine oneness, it also seemed just too simple. Okay, so I had this knowledge that there was an ultimate oneness, an ultimate unity in the world, but it needed to be followed by hard work. And I found the problem with LSD was that there was no ability, no protocol to follow up with hard work, with prayer and meditation. So when I turned 17, I had the ability to go to the Blackfeet Indian Reservation in Browning, Montana, and spend a summer there, volunteering to build playgrounds on the reservation. So I did that and got to know several of the leaders of the Blackfeet tribe. Got to know Buster Yellow Kidney, and Buster was he was a retired FBI agent whose jurisdiction was Glacier County, Montana. And got to know his son, Donald yellow kidney. His nickname was Tiny Man Yellow Kidney. And I just fell in love with the land and with the spirituality there, a real simple spirituality of just being close with the Creator. And so made plans to leave Teaneck after that summer and move to Montana. That's what I did. I did so by enrolling in University of Montana, and spent the next 3 years in Montana, and went for walks in the woods, sat next to glacial springs, and it was just so beautiful. And while I was there, Buster Yellow Kidney and Tiny Man Yellow Kidney and several others, Woody Kit and Professor Merdad Kia, who was Iranian, Chuck Jonkel, who was the president and founder of the International Wildlife Film Festival, which later was Merdad Kia became the president of. All of these people really encouraged me to return to my roots, to return to the ways of my fathers. They would tell me, don't neglect the ways of your fathers. Don't abandon the ways of your fathers for American culture. Don't trade American culture and American values for the culture and the values of your grandfathers. So after about 3 years, I went on winter vacation to Boston, and I met a Hasidic master, who his name was Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Horovitz, and he was a spiritual master. And Rabbi Horovitz taught me, introduced me to the ways of Hasidim and Hasidis, the ways of the master, the Baal Shem Tov, Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem, who lived in Ukraine about 250 years ago. And from there I went to Israel and learned in a rabbinical school in Israel. Never became a rabbi, but learned in a rabbinical school and studied there for a couple of years. Went for walks every day in the woods and spoke to God on my walks. Same as I did in Montana. You could speak to God anywhere you are in the world. You could speak to God from a high-rise building in Hong Kong, or from the bottom of the Grand Canyon. It makes no difference. The top of a mountain, on a boat in the middle of the ocean, wherever we are, we can talk to God, we can pray, we can meditate, we can tell God how we're feeling and how we want to be feeling and what we have and what we'd like to have. And we can talk to God. We can talk to God no matter what, no matter where, wherever we are. God wants to hear from us. We're His children. So anyway, it's a little bit of a digression from the usual programming of my channel, which is sound. But this is just about me, making the sounds, sort of the musician behind this channel. You could call me a musician. So that's in a nutshell. And then I went back from Israel. I went back to the East Coast for a brief little stint on the East Coast. Met my wife, got married, and after a few years of living back on the East Coast, remembered that I wasn't interested in that culture and the East Coast culture, and that's why I had gone to Montana in the first place. And from there came back to Israel, and have pretty much been in Israel ever since. And and have just enjoying the sounds of nature, enjoying. Here, I'll flip the camera around so you can see the view. I don't know if I can flip the camera around on this phone, so I'm just gonna go like that and you can see the view. Try to come here every day on a little walk and talk to God and listen to the sounds of nature. So thank you for listening, and thank you for letting me share. And maybe next week we will be back on the topic of sound and sound healing. If you'd like to support my job, this is my job, a little bit of an unusual job, but hey, this is my job. You can support me on Buy Me a Coffee. There's a link down below. So do that. And I look forward to sharing more with you next week. Have a great time.